Hello, I'm Monica Price and welcome to Cuppa TV. On today's show we have a singer-songwriter who's helped raise over $30,000 for Amnesty International. We welcome Pete Colorado. Staying with the music, we welcome musical artist Nathaniel Shaw, who joins us in the studio today to share his story. And finally, international author, awakening facilitator and healer, we welcome Sidra Jaffrey. My first guest is a man who, after entering a competition, helped raise awareness and money for Amnesty International. We welcome singer-songwriter Pete Colorado. Pete, welcome to Cuppa TV.
Thank you very much.
Wonderful to see you here.
It's
so,
wonderful
Pete,
to be here.
Tell us about your career. I mean, you've been in the music industry for a while now.
Yes.
Yeah, so tell us about that.
I've been involved in the music industry for, well, over 10 years now.
Yeah.
So, and I've been writing songs. I was writing songs long before that.
I was going to say, have you always been a writer? Because often writers write from a child, from an early age.
I have. I actually started writing. I used to write limericks and stuff like that. And with natural progression, I just moved into songwriting.
And was it something you saw yourself doing, or was it just something you just fell into?
I just started writing songs. I wasn't very good at it, to be honest, when I first started.
That's honest.
No, I wasn't very good at it because I really didn't know how to write songs. And my elder sister used to be a kind of a mentor to me, and she used to say that this doesn't match this, or this doesn't make any sense with this and that, and
So she
it used to
helped
really
you.
hurt my feelings,
Oh.
you know. But anyway, I prolonged it. I just carried on, and I joined the American Songwriter Association, and in it, they advertised a guy called Buddy Kay, and Buddy Kay had a songwriting sort of a course, but all done with cassettes and everything. And I actually bought this cassette, and it was 8 hours.
I remember cassettes.
Yes.
But we will pretend we don't know.
It was,
I do.
it was the C90s
Yes.
in those days. And anyway, I listened to 8 hours of it. I used to go to work, come home, and I used to put this on. And Buddy Kay basically told me and showed me how to write songs. The singable words, the words that you don't use, you know, the very hard words and stuff, the do's and don'ts, how to approach songwriting and that sort of thing. So it kind of opened up my mind, and I got better as the time went on. And my sister, who was an air hostess at the time, had a huge interline ball, as all airlines used to do, and all of them used to have this yearly thing. So who turned up was a BBC radio DJ, a guy called Pete Murray. Well, Pete Murray goes way back, and anyway, she started saying, "Oh, my brother writes songs and stuff. You got to listen to these songs and stuff." So anyway, he phoned me up, and I couldn't believe it. He phoned me up and he said, "How many songs have you got?" So I said, "Well, I've got a few." He said, "Well, how good are they?" So I said, "They're crap, you know." So then he said to me, he said, "Look," he said, "when you've written another 6 songs," he said, "give me a bell." And he gave me his number and everything. So I phoned him up, and he made an arrangement for me to go to Tottenham Court Road to KPM Music. And who was fronting KPM Music was a guy called Johnny Gordon. And I never had a car. I was just, you know, a young guy at the time. And I arrived late. And Pete Murray said to me, you know, he said, "You should have been here 15 minutes ago." He said, "Neil Diamond was here." And I went, "Yeah." And so it was a kind of a missed opportunity. And they played the 6 songs, and the secretary who was sitting down there, she was marking me out and giving me 6 out of 10 for this and 4 out of 10 for that, and sort of stuff like that. But, you know, but Pete said, he said, "You're on the right wavelength." He said, "So keep writing and stuff like that." And then Johnny asked me to write a few more songs. I wrote them, and he was entering them in, you know, like for Britain, for these Eurovision song competitions and stuff like that. The songs were getting a little bit of recognition, sort of coming, like, I don't know, like in the top 300 and stuff like that, from thousands and thousands of songs, you know. So I've progressed from there.
Wow.
Basically.
I mean, so really your passion, it sounds like, is the writing.
Yes.
You know, that's your passion.
Yes.
And then did you just naturally fall into the singing?
Well, you know something? I wanted to be a singer when I first saw Elvis. I saw
That's
Elvis.
a good enough reason.
I saw Elvis in Jailhouse Rock. You know, I was very young, And I thought, well, this is it. You know, everybody, I think the whole world wanted to be like Elvis, to be honest. Anybody who could sing wanted the quiff and everything else. And but as I formed a school band, stuff like that, you know, we gigged, did a few sort of school shows and whatever. And then when I left school, I fell into some other musicians, guys I was working with, and we formed a band, and we never really got off the ground from rehearsal. You know, one of the other guys, the drummer, was stolen from another rock band, went and played with the Foundations or something like that. And so I just progressed, and I just carried on writing songs, and that's the way I did. And as I recorded them, from what I could afford, I would go into demo studios and, you know, just record them, whatever.
What are you doing now? So you've got an album, haven't you?
Yes, I've got
Tell us
an
about
album,
that.
Faith and Imagination. Well, how Faith and Imagination came about was quite basically, I hadn't actually written songs specifically for Faith and Imagination. I had joined the world's largest independent A&R company called Taxi, which is American. And I was invited over as one of the members for these songwriter conventions. And I went over in November of one year, and I just pulled out, because I was cataloging all my songs together, I just pulled the kind of songs that I thought, well, I can do that. Now that's the kind of song that I would do live. So I picked a selection of songs, and I compiled them into a CD, just a rough CD, and I went to America. Well, while I was there, I met a guy who used to write songs for Britney Spears and Backstreet Boys, a guy called Jason Bloom. I had Jason as a mentor for 10 minutes, and I walked in the room and I couldn't find Jason. Jason grabbed my arm and he said, "You're looking for me?" So I said, and I sat down and he said, "Well, what do you got?" So I said, "I've got this CD with 10 songs. So he said, "Well, we haven't got time to listen to 10 songs. I said, "You have." I said, "If you listen to 40 seconds of each song." So Jason said, "Okay." So I gave him my CD player, he put the cans in, and he listened, and he was really giving it some, you know. And he said, "Well, what do you want to do with this?" So I said, "I'm thinking of making this into an album." I said, and also, I said, "I've come here to the States because I want a record deal." He said, "Listen," he said, "that's going to be a little bit difficult." He said, "Record companies don't just sign you like that, you know." So he said, "Why don't you go back," he said, "and release it yourself." So that's what I did.
And then from there, you've got the singles.
And from there, I released singles, working with the Steve Osborne Media, okay? And things have been progressively going very well.
And you've got Bad Girls, haven't you?
I've
That's
got
one of
Bad
your
Girls
singles.
presently, yes.
And tell us about that, because that came about from you going to London.
No, I came back from work one day, and there was a BBC documentary on it. It was very early in the evening, like 6 o'clock, 6:30, something like that. It must have been on for about half an hour. And there were some problems up in Camden Town, King's Cross, Euston, up that area, where they were having too many troublesome people, okay? They had drug addicts, aggressive beggars, and they had prostitutes. So Camden, because the local people had complained about it, Camden felt necessary to take action. So they decided to have a cleaning campaign. They got the coppers involved, you know? And I watched all of this, and some of the girls were very young. Some of them were much older. And the coppers, the way they were getting rid of them and stuff like that, I began to feel very sympathetic, you know? I literally, Monica, I just flipped a coin, okay? And I saw the other side of it. And I tried to understand what would make these young girls, or women in general, go this way. It's the most difficult thing in the world for a woman to really lower her guard that way, degrade herself, dishonor herself, sell herself. And I felt compassionate. And I also felt that these women are providing a service. Now, anybody providing a service has got to be a good thing, okay? Now, you can pick up any newspaper you like, and you're going to find something to do with sex in it. A-list people use high-class call girls, okay? Lower down the spectrum, people use these people on the street. There was curb crawling going on, traffic was being slowed down at night, coppers decided to do something. And because of this, I decided to see the other side of the coin, and I thought, well, all women who do this are not necessarily bad, okay? They could have been forced into it by pimps. They could have been forced into it because of money problems, relationship problems, but they were also helping relationships, because why else would you go to people like this? If you're not getting it at home, you're getting it from somebody else, okay?
So out of that, you decided to write.
And I
a
decided to
single.
write Bad Girls. And I said bad girls are nice because chances are they're pretty good people.
And following the success of that single, wait, what are you going to be doing now? What's your future?
My future is that I have a lot of half-written songs, okay? I don't have a great deal of money, so I'm hoping, so I've got to get money together. And as and when I go into studios, I finish off these songs, I get musicians together, and
It seems to be that, you know, I have many musicians that come on the show, and it seems to be, you know, the money is always a problem with musicians, because it's such a creative need for them to express themselves and deliver their music, but there's not always a lot of money in the music industry. Would you agree with that?
yes, because recording today is very, very expensive. And guys like me, you know, we have to earn money in various ways. We have to do jobs, we have to do all kinds of stuff. You know, we got a gig, we've got to try and get money together in order to feed our habits. And our habits are creative people. So we create songs, it's what the world needs. And, but we need money to do this.
And what about
So-
shows, Pete? Would you like to do some shows?
I have done shows, but I've come back from shows because if I do shows, my songwriting suffers, okay? And I am first priority a songwriter.
So where do you go when you write your songs? Do you sit at a piano or a guitar, or do you just...
I could be driving along in my car. If I'm alone, I always carry a little recording tape with me. You never know when ideas are going to hit you. You know, something you say to me today
I could be in a song.
might give me an idea. Okay, so let's see what happens. I read magazines, I listen to the news, I listen to people's conversations. People tell me something that rings. Okay, we're just kind of glued to that. You know, I think it's because we've been writing for so long. These things become automatic. You know, as soon as you say something, the alarm bells go off. And I remember these sort of things. I mean, Stevie Wonder, okay, who's one of the most prominent songwriters around, took 12 years to write I Just Called to Say I Love You. 12 years. So if it takes Stevie that long sometimes, I'm not saying all songs happen that way, but occasionally songs that you really work hard at, because you're creating them yourself and you're trying to build around an idea, it takes time.
And sometimes, like you say, you write half a song maybe, and then you'll leave that for maybe months, years, and then you
Yes.
come back to it.
Yes.
And then you look at it and think, yes, that's quite good, and then you just add to it, or is that how you
You know
do
something?
it?
I've got a lot of half-written material, half-written songs around in various books, okay? I have a little notebook only for song titles of songs that I will be writing in the future, but with little notes as to the kind of mood I'm in that present time, as to why I want to write a song like that.
And what
Okay.
genre of music would you say, Pete, that your music fits into, or would you write songs for all different genres?
I think somebody once, years ago, EMI offered me a contract on one song, okay, on a song that I've got on Faith and Imagination called I'm Gonna Make It. And the guy turned around to me and he said, we really like this song. He said, what would you like to do after that? So I said, I'll give him a rock track. And he said, you'll die a death. So I said, what do you mean I'll die a death? He said, because, he said, we need to categorize you within a certain area. I said, stick me in miscellaneous.
I was going to say, as a songwriter, is that how it works, it operates? Do you have to be in a certain category, or can you just write for all different genres? How does it work?
Record companies don't like you deviating from a particular genre.
So if you're in
If
soul,
you're a pop
stick
rock,
to soul.
if you're a pop rock artist, they want you to be a pop rock artist. If you're a reggae artist, they want you to be a reggae artist. They don't want you moving around. But I mean, to hell with it. I'm a songwriter, you know? And every songwriter or every artist is striving to come up with something different each time, okay? When I turned around to him and I said, look, I said, Culture Club only had one reggae track, which was, Did You Really Want to Hurt Me? I said, what have they done since? I said, but quite basically, I said, if you released I'm Gonna Make It, I said, and I came up with a rock track, I said, the audience will welcome it because it's different. I said, and that's the way you have to remember. I said, I'm a songwriter, first of all. I said, it would be absolute nonsense, I said, and boring, if I was to give you the same old thing over and over again. You're going to turn around and go, well, can't you do something different, mate?
Well, I wish you all the success.
Thank you very, very much.
Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you. Very nice for having me.
Stay with us. We're just going to take a quick break.